Elden Ring is a game that changed my life. That sounds dramatic as hell, but if I didn't let this game repeatedly kick me in the nuts, I probably wouldn't have stumbled upon the cure for my creative block. Whether you've played Elden Ring or have no interest in getting bullied for 60 hours straight, I honestly believe the game can teach us a lesson that any creative person can benefit from, and that is, there are no rules, only opportunities. I'll get into that more later, I promise. Other than fighting this god-awful boss, there is nothing more frustrating than trying to create something and hitting a wall. Creative block absolutely sucks, and it's something I've always struggled with. It didn't matter if I was designing, writing, or making music, it always made me feel like SpongeBob trying to write that essay for boating school. For me, creative block stems from a mix of perfectionism, decision paralysis, and lack of inspiration. I think at some point I kind of just accepted that I'll struggle with creative block for the rest of my life. It felt like I was sort of bound by these arbitrary limitations and rules that I set for myself. Weirdly enough, as I played Elden Ring and absorbed its gorgeous world building and questionable character design, I mean, look at this fucking thing.
Bruh.
It dawned on me that the designers of this game threw all the rules completely out the window. Just look at some of the characters in this game. You have a literal jar, these two assholes, and a snake with a human head that looks like a dick. The range of design choices is just crazy. There's a sense of creative freedom on display which I've always been jealous of, honestly. It's like the designers could completely unlock their minds and their creativity was limitless. And I remember the exact moment when I realized this too. I was playing through the game and came across Windmill Village. When you get there, you find all these creepy ass dancing women, and if you take a good look at them, you can see that what makes them so creepy is their unnatural proportions, specifically how long their arms are. I remember just staring in awe when I realized that if I was the designer, I probably would have been lazy and just given them normal arms and called it a day, not even giving it a second thought. But the game designers did the complete opposite.
I will do the opposite.
Instead, they took something as uninteresting as a character's arms and saw an opportunity to be creative. They knew that they could change these characters' proportions to not only enhance their design, but to ultimately scare the shit out of us. So that got me thinking, what else did the designers do that I never would have considered trying? And then I remembered a character that was beating my ass so hard that I didn't even take his design into consideration. My boy, Godric the Grafted. Once again, it was his arms. All 10 of them. The fact that I would never in a million years think about disregarding every rule of anatomy to create this kind of monstrosity made me ask myself, what if I just said fuck it and I finally allowed myself to be free and consciously choose how I approach every moment of creativity? And I'm not just talking character design or anatomy, making body parts longer or attaching them to unconventional places. I'm talking everything, bro, even the most basic fundamentals like how I style my line art or how I strum a chord. Every single instance of creating something offers up the opportunity for that thing to be played with, tweaked, altered, or removed entirely. The most liberating feeling as a creator is recognizing that there are no rules, only opportunities. I think the best creators recognize each and every one of these opportunities, and they take the time to stop, reflect, and make the best choices they possibly can. To apply this concept ourselves and get good, the first step is understanding that perfectionism is the enemy. Dude, I couldn't tell you the amount of times I've given up because of this shit. Trying to chase that one perfect decision as if it'll suddenly hit me like a bolt of lightning. In reality, the perfect decision usually doesn't exist. Instead, you gotta recognize that there are an unlimited amount of great decisions that you could be making. It's why there are an infinite amount of art styles that all somehow work. Once you realize that, it kinda makes the decision paralysis just fade away. But perfectionism is more than just making decisions. A lot of the time, perfectionism cripples us during the execution phase. Now, I don't want to get into that too much because I want to focus on making creative decisions versus the water droplet torture of trying to execute everything perfectly. But if you struggle with this, I highly recommend trying the 70% rule. Struthless made an awesome video about it that I'll link in the description, but the condensed version is that you should allow yourself to work at 70% of your highest standard of quality instead of always aiming for 100%. Not only will the creative process feel less intimidating, but you'll work faster, finish more projects, and improve your craft in the long run. After murdering perfectionism, it's about time to start the creative process. We've been talking about character design a lot, so we'll stick with that and design ourselves a cute little character. Before you absolutely defile that perfectly clean canvas, remember to get into the right mindset. Take a deep breath and hold for a moment. Exhale slowly, and as you breathe out, visualize our beautiful boy Godric. Let go of your restrictions and your limitations. Remember that there are no rules, only opportunities. Just say, fuck it. We're now ready to defile the canvas. To immediately break past the barrier to entry, start with something that takes no brain power to dream up whatsoever. Let's say it's a generic person, easy enough. Now take the time to scan the character and try to start noticing opportunities to make some fun decisions. For example, is this person young or old? Let's make him old as shit. What's their body like? I don't know, maybe he's ripped, or actually let's give him tits.
Marika's tits.
Does this person have any accessories? Sure, maybe a cane, a necklace, or a fancy hat. Wait, is this even a human being? Maybe it's an animal. Maybe it's a goose. Or better yet, how about a turtle? Oh word, it's turtle poop. Now the craziness of getting to that final design wasn't just to flex my mediocre sense of humor, and it was definitely not to cut corners having to design an original character for this video. Nah, it was to illustrate that the crazier you allow yourself to get, the more likely you'll find opportunities to create an interesting design. That is the goal, right? So in summary, we can cure creative block like this. First, recognize that there are no rules, only opportunities. Prevent yourself from falling into the perfectionism trap. Remember that there are an unlimited amount of great decisions and there is rarely a perfect decision. Take a deep breath, conjure inspiration, and let go of your limitations. Start with something that takes no brain power to break the barrier to entry. Find opportunities to alter, tweak, or play with your work to make it more interesting. And finally, and most importantly, allow yourself to have fun. Now I'm not gonna lie, I'm no creative genius and all of this is easier said than done. Being a skilled creator takes years of honing your craft and practicing good taste. You can't just slap some fat mommy milkers on everything and call it great design. I'm looking at you, Reddit. If you're new to this, you might still struggle at coming up with ideas even when you recognize those opportunities to be creative. Like, I think a humongous tip would be to start building a vocabulary of inspiration. Make lists and take pictures of things you like that you can reference whenever you're in a creative drought or need to pull something for a creative opportunity. One other thing is that you can, in fact, run out of creative juices. Fatigue is definitely real, and for me, I have to take a break every few hours, so don't feel discouraged if you hit a wall after working on a project for a while. Take some time to walk away, have a meal, or sleep on it and come back recharged. No big deal. So remember, my fellow Tarnished, there are no rules, only opportunities. Next time you try to create something, take a breath, and most importantly, have fun. Before you go, if you're brave enough, what's a project you're stuck on because of creative block? It could be a drawing, a paper, a song, literally anything. Tell me in the comments. Also, like and subscribe to touch this goose inappropriately. Ooh. Thank you so much for watching, have an amazing rest of your day, and take care. Bye-bye.